Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new, I'm Nyx with Chromate's Apothecary, and today I'm bringing you a tarot pick-a-card reading where we're going to be looking into your midsummer messages, so your summer solstice or Letha messages, basically everything that encompasses the next 3 months of the summer season. So starting on the far left side with the Marigold Tarot along with this piece of Tiger's Eye, this is going to be representing group number 1. With the Rider-Waite Tarot deck and this Yellow Adventurine, this is going to be group number 2. With the Art Nouveau Tarot deck and the Sunstone, this is going to be representing group number 3. And lastly, with the Wild Unknown Tarot deck and this Lapis Lazuli, this will be for group number 4. So feel free to pause the video, take just a few moments to go ahead and really meditate on which deck calls out to you the most. And when you're ready, you can head on down to the description box below and you can click on the timestamp that corresponds with whichever group you chose. And remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick-a-card readings in the future. It'd be great for you guys to really share in our journey, and it'd be great to see you along the way. So now, without further ado, let's head on down to your readings. Hello, group number 1. So here is going to be your tarot pick-a-card reading for the next 3 months for your midsummer messages. And along with this Tiger's Eye, this is here to really bring about a lot of protection and confidence to you. It can be a very amazing crystal to have on you when you are trying to release things such as like your creativity feeling blocked, or also just needing a little bit of extra boost when it comes to good luck or being able to draw forth wealth and success. So it's very good when it comes to manifesting certain things. So I'm going to shuffle this deck and we are going to see what messages we can pull for the next 3 months for group number 1. What's going on in group number 1's life for the next 3 months? We have the Hanged Man coming out immediately on the reversed, along with the Ace of Swords. Okay. What other messages can we get? We have the Empress. Ooh, very powerful energy right now for you, group number 1. 7 of Wands. You are doing something wild. All right, and the 8 of Swords in the reverse position. Okay, so let me just fix these a little bit. So out of the gate with the Hanged Man in reversed here, as you can see, he is bound and normally is obviously hanging upside down, but with him in this position here, I always like to see it as the Hanged Man has like been able to sort of finally see things from that different perspective. But sometimes it could be that you are resisting this sort of change. I'm getting the feeling that along with the rest of these cards is that I think you're getting to a point where you have to make a decision. So generally speaking, in the reverse position, this is about really like stalling, not wanting to make a decision on something, and can really be about sort of digging your heels in and resisting that sort of change. So I do like to put a positive spin on the Hanged Man reversed in that you can finally see what it is that you do need to change. So you're aware of it instead of it kind of stuck in your subconscious. But you are still having that sort of a hard time of letting it go. However, along with the rest of your cards, I am seeing that there's going to be a shift in your mindset to where you're going to be able to make whatever decision it is that you need to make in order to press forward. Because right next to the Hanged Man, we have the Ace of Swords. And in this card here, this is really about like new like breakthroughs. So this is very much about like if you are in this stuck position, you finally get to burst forward with this new idea, or having this like sudden success, or having your thoughts in order to where you can finally make those decisions, you can finally push forward. So I'm getting this feeling again that maybe in the earlier part of these next 3 months, you're kind of still resisting this sort of inevitable change, and you can see what it is and why it is, but you just can't quite reach it. And then finally you have like a aha, like an epiphany moment where you get hit with this surge of mental clarity, and you're able to actually process the things that you want to and push forward. Because with the Empress, we have this person who's sitting here, and they're really able to be who they are in like such a natural way, and in such a way that is very like filled with like lots of beauty, lots of grace, and is very nurturing when it comes to themselves as a person. So this is like just the epitome of someone who has all of their ducks in a row. They know exactly what it is that they want out of life, and they're actually able to lean on things such as like their emotions in order to make those things work for themselves. So I'm seeing that you're finally having this like glow up moment where you're able to sit on your throne and finally feel comfortable being yourself. So I'm getting this message that for some of you is that you've been hiding your true self for a little while, or you've been having a hard time in figuring yourself out. And this is where you're going to finally have this like aha moment. And then you're going to be able to be more naturally you in the outside world, as well as like how you tend to hold yourself at, like, say at home, or maybe in safer company kind of thing. You finally are going to be able to really express yourself and really share that with others. And I'm seeing next to the Empress, we have the Seven of Wands. And in this card here, this is, however, about generally dealing with some form of like competition, or some sort of challenge that is going to come up in your life. It can also be about like perseverance. So even though you're getting to this point where you can finally be yourself, you are going to have to struggle and fight against things to keep yourself protected, and to also not allow people to pull away from you, in the sense of like, they can't pull away your energy. Like, they can't make you feel like little, or make you feel like you're not allowed to be who you are, kind of thing. I'm seeing that sort of resistance. But lastly, we have the Eight of Swords in the reverse position. So right after the Seven of Wands, we have the Eight of Swords coming up. And this is really about normally like your own negative self-talk and your own self-limiting beliefs. So it's you sort of talking down on yourself. So it could be that this competition or this challenge that you need to overcome is you actually accepting fully that you are able to be more upfront about who you are, and being able to release any past negative thoughts that you had about yourself. But this is a really good bookend, because whereas in the Hanged Man, he is still very much resisting movement and very much resisting a new perspective, the Eight of Swords reversed is about being open to new perspectives. So it's kind of like you have your own little mini journey that you're going to be going on, to where you'll be changing a lot within the next 3 months. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that you have this breakthrough moment, and I'm seeing for some of you that it's kind of like, it is this epiphany, like aha moment, but it's kind of like it's coming from a point of many struggles. Like, you have been dealing with having these issues for a long time, and you are finally like fed up with the way things have gone and how you've had to live your life, and you're finally getting so fed up with it that you're like, you know what, I'm done. And so you have this aha moment, and you start to be able to really like live your like truth as what you are and what you want of yourself. But you're still dealing with those negative aspects of, well, can I actually do this? Who am I to deserve this sort of life and things like that? So you still have to fight with your own mindset. So if it isn't other people, it's yourself, and you really have to build up your foundation and your strength to be able to live this truth that you want to be in, because you can easily fall into these negative patterns again if you haven't properly taken care of them. So again, this is why this tiger's eye is here for you. It's here to give you that that positive attitude and being able to have the willpower to truly release negativity and push forward. So we're going to go ahead and pull a few more cards. Obviously, let's pull some clarifying cards. So for the next 3 months, and for group number 1, what else can they look out for? Let's see. We're going to go with, we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. Ooh, the Queen of Cups reversed. The Seven of Cups upright. I want one more. And the Knight of Wands reversed. Okay. So I'm seeing in the Knight of Swords over here that we are kind of dealing with this feeling of burnout, and you could also be going through kind of like this sort of impulsive moment where you don't really have a plan of action, but you just want to make progress, is kind of the vibes that I get from this card. And combined with the Queen of Cups reversed, this is very much about like having, it's kind of like being really, really moody or being emotionally manipulative. And so I think that these are possibly maybe not even clarifying cards, but it could be just warning signs of you just being very careful with your mental state. Because the Ace of Swords is here so predominantly, I do get this feeling like you're going to be able to overcome these situations, but I am seeing these cards as dealing with your emotions and it being very tumultuous for a little while. So if you're someone who's prone to like sort of like recklessness or feeling restless or lashing out in certain ways, just be very careful of how you hold yourself over the next 3 months. Try to keep yourself in check when it comes to those sorts of things, because there's a possibility of you burning like bridges that you don't want to burn, especially if you are trying to live your new self, your truth kind of thing. And like, just because like, say you're like, oh, but my truth is to be blunt and honest and to speak up for myself, that's great, but you can do things in a way that doesn't hurt other people. So I'm getting this sort of feeling like somebody feels hurt. It could be too that if you aren't somebody, like if this sounds like wildly inaccurate, it could be that you are somebody who reacts really intensely when these things are employed toward you, such as if you're someone who needs to have everything planned out perfectly before you move ahead. It could be that somebody or something is thrusting you into a situation where you have to make a like quick decision, or they're directing this like fast-paced energy at you and you're like feeling super overwhelmed because of it, and that is in turn making you feel burnt out. And same thing with like the Queen of Cups reversed. It could be that someone is directing this sort of like moody, like nasty, like energy towards you, where they're using emotions to try to get what they want, like again, emotionally manipulative. It could be that someone's directing that towards you and you are feeling very nervous and upset because of the situation. So I'd say just on both ends of things, if you are more prone to that sort of thing, try to keep yourself in check as best as possible. We all know that sometimes it can be very hard to rein your emotions in, so don't see it as a super negative thing. Just keep it as a warning in your mind that you're like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm like more patient than I necessarily want to be. But I'm also seeing here that in the Seven of Cups, this card here is like a wish fulfillment kind of card, so it's kind of a be careful what you wish for sort of situation. So I'm sort of seeing it as there's going to be something that goes on with this breakthrough that is going to come to light, I feel like, and it's going to be both a positive and a negative sort of thing, where you're going to, maybe it's like a truth of some sort is coming out, and it's like you didn't want to necessarily have to hear that truth, but because you did, it means that you can now like move on and you can now push forward with your new like life. This can also be about certain like new opportunities and having new choices. So it could simply be because you have like unveiled yourself from beyond this curtain, that you now have all of these new choices that you have to and can make for your life, which can be very overwhelming, but it could also be very liberating, because you're like, wow, like what do I want to go for? Like what direction do I want to pull my life in? But there are also generally illusions tied to this card. So again, it's that be careful what you wish for sort of thing. There might be something that's too good to be true that is appearing in this situation, and you just have to navigate it as best as possible. And then lastly here, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse position. And I'm seeing this card as being, once again, like some sort of, it kind of ties with the Knight of Swords. They're the same suit. So it's one of those things where it's possible that there's all this like scattered energy. There's like delays of some sort. There's like a building of frustration and whatnot, because I feel like something happens that is going to be a lot of this quick movement that maybe you don't normally like to deal with, and you're going to have to deal with that, and it's very stressful for you. So let's go ahead and pull a few more. Let's get some advice for you to see if we can help you navigate these next 3 months. So what advice can we give to group number 1? What advice do we have? First thing coming up, we have the 8 of Cups in the reverse position. We've got the 10 of Cups reversed. Lots and lots and lots of cups in this, so lots having to do with emotions. And the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So I'm seeing here in the 8 of Cups in the reverse position that there is this point that you're going to have where you're going to have to make a decision on something. It's kind of giving me the Hanged Man vibes again, in the sense that this could be about you having this indecision, and it could be about you needing to walk away from a certain situation. But it could also be about asking yourself if you want to try one more time with something. So I'm kind of getting this feeling that this is an ending, though, considering that the handmaid's really giving the same sort of feeling, and then there's this Ace of Swords moment. I think you are having to make a decision on something that is going to change the course of something going on. So I'm getting the feeling like for some of you, you are cutting somebody out of your life. For some of you, I'm seeing it as a possible job or career change kind of thing. And it's something that's going to align you with your true self more intensely, but it is like a hard decision. It's been something that has weighed on your mind. So whatever this applies to, it's something that you have been thinking on for a while, and it is something that can change your life to the better, but it's very hard for you to make that decision, and you can't just do it lightly. It's not like, okay, I've made the decision, I'm good to go. It's very tangled. I'm seeing like kind of like vines and stuff like tangled up on themselves. So I think that this situation, this person, whatever it is, is very intensely tied to your life. So for you to have to just cut them away or cut the situation away, a job, whatever, it's not as easy as it sounds, and it's gonna take some time to do that. I am seeing this as you're gonna walk away from this situation. I think it's just not been working for you for so long, and you're finally realizing that, but it is like a bittersweet kind of thing. Again, it's like that truth that needs to come to light that you don't quite want to know about, but when you know about it, it makes it easier for you. It makes your decision easier to make. And then we have next to it the 10 of Cups. Oh, again, another reason why I was feeling like it is so intense is like all of these cups being around is like, this is something that is emotionally tied to you. So like, even now it kind of feels like that whole like chest like tightening, the throat like closing kind of feeling when you're like about to cry is kind of like what I'm feeling too. So it really is something where you have put a lot of stock into it. So like, I don't want to take it lightly. It feels like something deep. It doesn't feel like something you can just wake up and be like, I'm done. So you needing to take your time over the course of the next 3 months, going through a grieving process or something, starting to progress, I think would be good, but it is still going to be hard. In the 10 of Cups reversed, this is a direct connection to me believing that it could have to do with a person, because this is like a misalignment of values generally, or some sort of struggling relationship. So it could be that you have been having this like friendship that just simply hasn't worked, but you guys have been friends for literally your entire lives. So the fact that you have to make a decision on cutting this person out or no longer talking to them or something is really hard for you. Or it could be dealing with an actual like romantic relationship, or again, even like a parental relationship. It's really hard to be able to do that sort of thing, is be able to take a parent out of your life. But if it's something that needs to happen before you can really become your truest self, then you can't let that hold you back. And it's really hard to deal with and really hard to navigate, especially if you've never had to do it before. So this is just sort of the advice that I'm getting, is that I'm getting pointed toward it being something related to a person versus something like a career. But again, it could be. It's just that this is really letting me know that I think it's tied more towards specifically even family versus anything else. And then lastly, we have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse position. And in this card here, this is generally sort of a time where you are recovering from some sort of like financial loss. So for some people, this is going to be like a really specific message, but like this could be a situation where maybe you are heavily tied to a parent because of the financial benefits that they allow for you. But if this parent is like, let's say, could possibly be abusive in some way, you have to weigh, is the sanity of my mental health and overall well-being versus the monetary value and help that I get from this person? Like, where do I draw this line? Because sometimes when you run into that situation, it's really hard to pull away from someone like that, and you sometimes can be stuck to where you don't have the finances to be able to take care of yourself or be able to make it on your own, kind of thing. So I'm seeing this as, it could possibly be that it's tied to it, but it could also be, if you make this decision, you could break away from needing that financial help, because this is recovery from financial loss. So it could be that you will eventually see like an uptick in your funds and whatnot if you take care of whatever the situation is that's pulling away from you. Again, if this is a job situation, it could be that you feel obligated to stay at this job for whatever reason, but maybe you get a new one and it ends up paying you more than where you're at currently. So it could be something like that. This also deals with having like a spiritual like poverty, in the sense of you don't feel connected to whatever it is that you believe in, and you don't feel a lot of like messages coming to you. So like your intuition feels very off too. So it could be that these are things that are weighing down on you and pulling away. So I'm getting this overall feeling that there is a direct decision that you need to make and you have to focus on, is what I'm seeing, and that it will benefit you, but it is going to be very hard to overcome. So I'm going to pull a few more cards just for some further messages before we head out for the day. So let's start with these self-care cards. What can group number 1 do to help navigate these next 3 months? We have make a meal. So it could be that you may be focusing on cooking more. You may be focused on maybe eating healthy versus going out to eat. It's very hard to eat healthy when you go out to like fast food places or even just dining at restaurants. It's hard to make healthy options. So this literally gives you the power in your hands to make those better decisions for yourself. So maybe that's something that you would like to focus on and have been wanting to focus on, or it just could be beneficial for you to track like what it is that you're putting in your body, so you're not feeling as stressed out. Because I know if I eat out, it like makes my mood tank usually. We also have connect with your womb too, which actually in connection with making a meal, I have noticed too, dietary wise, is that normally people who have to deal with the monthly cycles and whatnot, yes, there's lots of cravings, but if you can push yourself past them and focus on eating healthy, it tends to make things feel a lot better, and you don't feel as like bloated or bogged down due to having eaten things that could be upsetting your body. And lastly, we have sync with the moon as well. So we have some sort of, I'm seeing these like cycles, obviously. So we've got syncing with the moon and then connecting with your womb and whatnot. Some sort of cycle is important and going on with you in your life within these next 3 months. So go ahead and spend some time with yourself and really talk to yourself and let you know, and listen to your body and let it let you know what is healthy for you, because everyone has a different variety of what is healthy for them. Some people have intolerances to things, and maybe you've tried to ignore that for a while. Like as you get older, they just get stronger. So maybe you've noticed though that you feel better when you don't eat gluten, or if you go completely vegan or something. Try your best to allow yourself to navigate that, and maybe commit yourself to 3 months to eat a certain diet and just see how it makes you feel throughout these cycles and whatnot, and see by the end of the 3 months if it's helped you any. We will pull a few more. Any more further messages for group number 1? We have Ghost Pipe, which says, immerse in your shadow's wisdom. So I do believe there's a lot of subconscious and darkness that you can shed some light on. There's something that you truly know in the deepest part of yourself that needs to change, and it's calling for you to change it, but it is very hard to tap into that. So I totally understand, but I think that this is the time, is that you're going to be able to focus more heavily on it and really put in the work to focus on that shadow self of yours. Okay, we're also going to pull just a couple more for you. So group number 1, what other messages do we have? We have Aquarius, so you could either be a Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, or it could be that you need to pull from the traits from Aquarius, which on here it shows visionary, inventive, and eccentric. So Aquarius also is very much about really living as yourself. Aquarius is not afraid to be who they truly are, and they're not afraid to show the rest of the world who they are as well. So it could be trying to give you this sign and symbolism of really tapping into that power, to not care what it is that people may think about you, because you want to live as yourself. Definitely see Aquarius is a great one to come out for this reading. And lastly, we have Amethyst, which says intuition. So really, truly believe in you and what it is that you believe in. I'm getting this feeling like you know what needs to be changed is really what this is about. It's like, I really get this feeling like you understand the situation and you know exactly how to help yourself, but it's just very hard for you to pull up that strength in order to do so. But it really is calling on you to do that in order to push forward. And then I'm going to pull a message from one of these guys. So for group number 1, what further message do we have? This one here says, you are a soul living in a flesh temple made of stardust, riding a rock through space. Don't sweat the small stuff. You are pure magic and mystery. Again, I'm getting these vibes of really living your truth, living that truest form of yourself. I know I've said it multiple times, but like, I think the cards are kind of yelling at you a little bit that you do need to go forward just being yourself. And yeah, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't let little things pull away from who you are or pull away from your mood. And also people in general. There are going to be, you can't please everybody. And I'm also getting this feeling of like, you aren't made for everyone. In the sense of, you are not going to be the type of person, like a cardboard cutout to each person that you come across and be palatable to that person. So really, all you have to be is yourself, and you're going to attract people that really vibe with you and really want you in their life, and vice versa, because they're going to want you for who you are and the way that you just live yourself so authentically. And they're going to want to like feed off of that too. And you guys are both going to be able to help each other just be your truest selves. But there are going to be people out there who just don't like that. And you can't let those people win, because the moment that you start hiding yourself and really withdrawing and staying stuck inside of this shell, you aren't going to be able to really like grow further. You're just staying hidden and trapped, and like everything about you is being contained, whereas you should be somebody who can like burst forth and really like grow and really experience life in such a true way. And then lastly, I'm going to roll this a few times just to see if there's any other certain messages that we can pull from the zodiac. So firstly, we have coming out is Taurus. So you could be a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, or perhaps somebody in this situation is a Taurus. There's also Aries. Aries is another one who very much is very authentic to who they are, and they are quick to let people know who they are. And lastly, we have here is Scorpio. And if you liked this reading or it resonates with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And also, if you'd like to do so, go ahead and leave a little avocado emoji down in the comments below, so then myself and others will know that you did reach this point in your reading. Thank you guys so much, and I hope that the summer solstice treats you well, and the next 3 months are going to go fabulously for you. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day. Hello, group number 2, and here is going to be your messages for Midsummer. So this will be over the course of the next 3-ish months during the summertime season, just things to be aware of. And to start off with, this yellow adventuring is here to really fill you with a sense of compassion and understanding. It's also to help care and center on your emotions. So if you've been having a hard time with dealing with your emotions or really getting things aligned with your emotions, this is here to help you along in that journey. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading. I'm going to shuffle these cards. So what messages can we pull for group number 2 for the next 3 months? We have the Knight of Pentacles in the reversed position. We have the Two of Swords. All right. Next, we're dealing with the Two of Wands. All right. I see. What other messages can we get for group number 2? 9 of Wands reversed. And lastly, we have Page of Wands. Okay, so what I'm seeing in the start of this reading, so maybe a little bit towards the beginning of these next 3 months, this is kind of the energy that I'm seeing you holding for yourself, is that it's very probable that you are dealing with feeling like you just can't make any movement. So this is very much sort of that like feeling stuck kind of energy. You could be posing a lot of perfectionist traits on yourself in order so you're not able to move forward. So say you're like, I have to make sure everything is perfect, everything is clearly set out for myself before I make a decision and before I go forward with a certain path or idea or anything like that. And so because everything has to be aligned perfectly, you're having a really hard time in actually making any progress because you yourself are refusing to see past this certain point. Until you get A, B, C, X, Y, Z done, then you're not going to be moving on to the next phase of your life. And so I am seeing there's a lot of you constricting yourself, which it's not necessarily a negative thing. It could be that you just simply have so much self-discipline for wanting to make sure that you do the right thing. And that is a great quality to have, but it could be encroaching on your ability to learn new experiences and to really grow and learn from mistakes. Because truly, if we put ourselves out there and start working on something, even if we're not like the best at this sort of thing that we want to work on, you learn way more during that process instead of holding yourself back and being like, I'm just going to research nonstop and just keep focusing on reading things about it and everything besides actually going out and doing it. And you could be robbing yourself from these learning points that could really make you grow so much faster. So I think you're kind of in this, like, again, it's a stuck phase. I think that you're really holding back. And again, it's not a negative. I think it's just that you really want to make sure you go about it the right way, which is very commendable. But I do believe that in order to learn, you do have to kind of think outside the box and push yourself a little bit harder. And why I'm thinking this so strongly is because we have, like, right next to each other are these two different cards, starting with the Two of Swords. This is about having some sort of difficult decision that you have to make a decision on, but it can also be that you're kind of avoiding that situation. So the figure in this card here has a blindfold on. They're not able to see the two different paths that are branching off from the swords and being able to see beyond them. So there is a lot of you're kind of holding yourself back in this situation is the feeling that I'm strongly getting for this. It can also be that you have so many options to choose from that you literally have to, like, you're kind of having anxiety about making sure that you pick the right option. So you don't want to make the wrong decision for your future. You don't want to make a wrong decision where it's going to either disappoint yourself or other people. So you try to, like, look at something at every single angle. So you just keep, like, twisting it around and around to see all the angles of this before moving forward on your journey. And that's where we're coming to this stuck energy, to this impasse energy, where you simply can't move forward because you are so restricting on yourself in order to make that decision and go forward. And then next to the Two of Swords, we have the Two of Wands, which, again, that two generally deals with some sort of decision that's being made. And this card, however, with it coming after the Two of Swords, I'm seeing this as you making a decision. And now you're going to this next phase where you're actually going to be progressing. So again, this deals with decisions. So I'm seeing it as a positive that you're making a decision finally, and you're going to start working toward it. It can also be a discovery phase where maybe you're waiting for that last couple puzzle pieces to fall into place before you make that decision. It could be that you finally are able to have that discovery moment where you see the exact truth of what it is that you have been sitting on for so long, and now you're ready to move forward. It's finally aligned with you. And this is about, you can see the figure is holding on the wand and looking off into the distance because they are focusing on this sort of future planning phase where they're now making even more steps to follow in order to really see just that bright future for themselves and, again, for yourself. So I think that you're taking your own time and you're not going to be rushed into making a decision, which I think is great. Like, we all should have boundaries and shouldn't feel rushed, especially by, like, the societal pressure of, like, you have to be successful quickly. That doesn't happen for everyone, and it doesn't need to happen for everyone. It needs to happen at your own pace. So I think you are very strong in the sense that you can weigh up everything that you need to know before moving onward and take it at that pace of yours. I think that's a great trait to have, because otherwise you could rush into a decision that would be harmful to you and you don't want to go through with that. So you're like, I'd rather avoid all that and instead take my time. But I do see that you are making that decision and you are going to be pushing forward into the next phases. However, In the Nine of Wands next to this one, you could maybe be trying to talk yourself out of it a little bit. This card tends to deal with struggles and feeling like you're overwhelmed. It could also feel like you're very like paranoid about a certain situation. So maybe you're paranoid that like this thing that you're making a decision on isn't going to pan out the way that you want it to, or it's possible that you are very defensive about it. So maybe you feel like there's a resistance in your life in the sense of other people are looking, you think that they're looking at you differently or negatively when you've made this decision, and you start getting defensive about it and you start like kind of try to close in on yourself, because this is very much a dealing with your like inner resources. So you're not trying to branch out and get help from other people when you are making this decision. This is very much you are trying to focus on your own situation and be the one that has the control over all of it. This is kind of like the mentality for me as somebody who considers themselves very like type A personality. It's like they want to have control and micromanage each little like segment because they want to see a positive outcome. And of course, like that can absolutely work for those people if that is the type of personality that they are. It's not a negative thing. It's just that this is how they're wired to work and this is what they need. But they also, of course, like will struggle from the feeling of being like lonely in this situation or feeling like other people are looking down on them. And we don't want you to believe that at all. We want you to go with a sense of confidence that you know what you're talking about and you know you've done the research and you know what it is that you want out of your life. Because lastly, we have the Page of Wands, and they are all about really showing that newness in a journey of some sorts, having this intense like sense of discovery, or again those new ideas, or really feeling more free to make decisions and to, it's kind of gives off like the Fool vibes, where it's like going off into a new journey and having this like potential that can just be filled with anything, because you're not trying to restrict yourself down to one thing. It's really here to let you know that after you've gone through these struggles and worries, that you do have this very bright, positive outcome that's coming for you as well. So this could be a timeline of sorts, where this could be the beginning of summer, and then around the middle, you're working through all of this, and then towards the end, heading into the next season, you're starting to see this change and have this like new growth for you. So let's pull some clarifying cards, I feel. Let's go ahead and shuffle this deck for you. Let's see. For group 2, what further messages can we get? Firstly, we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. We have the Hierophant in the reverse position. Ooh, the King of Pentacles just shot out of the deck. Let's go for one more. And the Seven of Wands. So, starting off with the Knight of Swords in the reverse position, this is very much a card that is, I believe, here to warn you about the potential of having very like restless energy, so much so that you get to the point of burnout. You could be making really impulsive decisions, which is very opposite of how I truly feel about you. So I'm kind of seeing it almost more as there's some sort of outside source that could possibly be asking you to make the decision quicker than you want to. And I really think that you need to stay within your boundaries to make this decision. Also, there's a couple of cards here that came out that actually aligned with group number 1. So if you were drawn toward group number 1, it may be beneficial to you to watch that segment as well, just in case there were any further messages, because there are a couple that I'm seeing and you guys have similar vibes, but I am seeing that with the Hierophant and the reverse position, that this is very much you challenging the status quo and really following your own truth and going at things the way that you would do it. So even if it's not something that is often seen in society, you are willing to go beyond that and down a different path because you know it's the right one for you. So it could be that maybe you're breaking away from something that is very like having a 9-to-5 job or something like that, and so you're feeling pressure from people and paranoia that maybe this new creative venture or something isn't going to work out for me, and like maybe other people in your life are like, why are you quitting your job to do the XYZ, and you know it would be so good for you. And the Page of Wands is saying that you will succeed in it, but again, it's something that's dealing with being different from typical society, and so it's obviously that fear of the unknown and that worry and anxiety and paranoia that, well, maybe it won't actually work for me. So it could possibly be coming out to let you know that, again, just sort of a hint that yes, this is meant for you, that this is something that's going to be different and out there. Like maybe you're starting your own YouTube channel, or maybe you're getting a job that doesn't have like a stock standard like set working hours or something, or maybe you're working on focusing on like art and it's more like freelance or something like that. So it's definitely more of a risk, but there's such a greater reward tied to that as well. And I'm seeing here in the King of Pentacles that this will be definitely a successful venture for you. The King of Pentacles is all about having this like leadership quality, being able to feel very secure within yourself, having abundance, and really just in general being very strong in the sense of like financial gain and benefit and wealth in general. So I do see that whatever decision that you're making, it is going to bring about success for you. But tied with that, I'm going directly to the Seven of Wands with this one, because I feel like it works along in conjunction with it, is that there's going to be a lot of either competition, or there's going to be a lot of like challenges that come up for you to deal with, and you have to persevere in order to make that name for yourself. So you really have to tap upon a lot of inner strength and a lot of, I'm feeling like this really lonely vibe where I feel like you're going at this yourself. I don't see this as a collaborative effort. I see this as something that you need to do on your own, and maybe it's just for the start, because like things work so much better when you do have collaboration. But I think that maybe you're working on a journey that is very you-centric at first, and then maybe if it applies to you, it will eventually get to the point where you have other people working with you. But to start out with, I'm getting this very like alone sort of vibe from this, where either you're feeling very alone, or again, you're working alone. Maybe you're being your own boss, and it is something that can pull away from you feeling like, say, like detached from other people. And so it could be that you start seeing things as competition with other people as well, or it just could be that the field that you're going into is highly competitive. So this could be a very literal card that's coming out, just letting you know that you have to put in the work. You can't give yourself those like breaks in order to just like lax, because you have to be on your game in order to make this thing work. But obviously be very careful with yourself. We don't want you rushing, and we don't want you feeling super stressed. So we are going to pull some advice cards for you as well. So for group number 2, what advice can we get for them? Let's see. That one wanted to come out. Ooh, a few more. Okay, I'm gonna take all these. So the first one that flew out here is the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Then we have the 4 of Cups, and then we have the 10 of Wands reversed. So starting out with the 6 of Pentacles, I'm seeing this here as very much dealing with you focusing on self-care, and also this could be a warning of be careful of taking charity from people. This could be dealing with like one-sided charity. So either you are giving money to someone or someone gave money to you, and there isn't that sort of repayment in the way of like energy or money being able to go back. So I'd say if you come into money, be very careful about who you share it with in this time frame, just because it could be that you don't see that money for a very long time, or it could be that you owe somebody something and you are currently struggling to pay that back. So just keep that in mind. Don't make deals with people during this time. I'm getting the feeling of too is like, don't don't take a loan or something when you know for a fact that this is not something that you're going to see like return funds on for some time, because then you might be stuck in another situation. So be very careful when it comes to somebody giving you their money. If it is someone trustworthy and you know that they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart and it's not because they're going to lord it over you later, then maybe it's a little bit easier for you to trust in that and accept that offer. But just be careful when it comes to things involving money in general. And then we have the 4 of Cups, which is very much about it's talking about like reevaluation and also sort of thinking. So either that's a meditation sort of way, or you're really trying to get all the information that you need in order to think your way through the problem instead of pushing forward. So it's kind of these earlier vibes up here, but it could be that you may have to think on your feet a bit more than you're used to. So when you get to this point and you've made this decision and you're heading off, you might have to do some more quick thinking. So try to get as much information as you can and keep it as organized as you possibly can. So then when you do need to quickly reference it, you have it right in front of you instead of being like, oh, well, now I have to go like look into it again. Try to do more of your research up front when you're in this planning phase instead of when you're in the thick of it. I'm seeing this as something where you can also pivot at any time too. So don't close off other options. If there's ways to do what you want to do, don't try to only follow one path. If that suddenly doesn't work, there's plenty of things that branch off from it and you're able to approach it in different ways. I'm also seeing that as a message for some of you. And lastly, there we have the 10 of Wands coming out in the reverse position. And in this card here, this is very much about you doing it all. And it's about you carrying, you're carrying like the load. Like you're the one that's doing all of this hard work and all of this stress is piling on you. And if there is a chance to like release it on to somebody else in the way of like delegating certain tasks to someone else, that's something that you can do. So I had talked about how this feels very you-centered and feels very lonely. It could be letting you know that maybe that's because you think you have to have that hold. So it's trying to let you know that there are certain tasks that you could be delegating to someone else, so you aren't the only one that's holding on to all of this burden. So as I know how it can be, because I get the same way where I feel like I have to be the one that does it or else it doesn't get done right. So if you can, just try to keep it in the back of your mind that you are able to rely on other people to make these dreams come true, and that hopefully you're surrounding yourself with people that want to see you succeed so they can actually help in this situation instead of either take advantage of you or fail at the task that you did offer to them. So we're going to go ahead and pull some self-care cards to see if there's any self-care that you can be doing throughout these next 3 months and what could help you in easing your tension, making this release process a little bit better. Firstly, we have make a meal. Again, if you really were drawn to group number 1, this is the first card that I pulled for group number 1 as well. So you could be focusing, I'd say check out that part of the video, but also I think in make a meal, you really could be taking your diet in your hands a lot more strongly during this span of time, instead of focusing on like going out to eat a lot, which can really save you a lot of money. You could be just at home cooking. You could also be noticing that you need certain diet changes because your body simply is not like processing certain foods in a way that is making you feel good about yourself. So you could be wanting to really take that again in your hands and really maybe follow through with certain food goals. So like maybe you've always wanted to go vegan or something. This could be that chance where you could actually see how it goes for the next 3 months and see if it makes you feel good. We also have abundance planning. So again, really gives off this King of Pentacles vibes here, where you're taking this in on yourself and really making a lot of good choices when it comes to your monetary lifestyle. So I'm seeing also that you need to take time to really sit down and budget out your lifestyle, and especially for your future, because I'm seeing with the King of Pentacles that influx of money coming into your life. You can be more prone to spend even more money because you're like, I'm making more money, so now I can use this and this and this, and it's going to, sometimes it can be really hard to shift when you are making more money, where you could be spending more on accident because you just don't think about everything that's piling up. So really sit down and fully budget everything in your life, all the way down to your little subscriptions that you pay for monthly, to make sure that you know where all of your money is going and coming from. And then we're going to pull one more self-care card. So lastly, we have ground yourself. So in this card here, it could be very literal that you want to maybe reconnect more with the earth, maybe go outside and meditate to feel that connection. It could be possibly that you have earth sign energy somewhere along in your chart, but I'm mainly seeing this card as you needing to connect to the present moment. So obviously there is a big decision that needs to be made, and it is going to affect your future, but I'm seeing this as sort of a call to action to forget about your past, forget about all of that stress, that perfectionism that you are having to lead yourself into the future, and instead focus on yourself in this present moment and really focusing on living in the moment to be able to reap some more benefits and feel more full and fulfilled. So we're going to go ahead and pull a few more cards, a few more last minute messages for everyone of group 2. So firstly, we have mycorrhizal fungi, which says connect with your soul community. So again, I was saying how it feels like you're going along a lonely journey. So this is calling to you to let you know that you should reach out to others that are in your position or have been through your position before, so you can maybe glean some knowledge from them or just feel connected in general. Or if there's someone that you connect with and go to when you need advice, it might be good for you to reach out to them and kind of ask for some advice or just sort of bounce ideas off with them. Next, I'm going to shuffle and pull some more messages. We have Capricorn. Okay, so for Capricorn, this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or could be someone who's working along with you in this, but I'm seeing this more as yourself. And then also it could be, if you aren't a Capricorn or you don't have it in your chart, it could be that you need to tap into the traits of Capricorn. So on here it shows determined, ambitious, and integrity. So Capricorn is a ruler of work life and also wealth. So making money and really driving themselves forward in order to gain that sort of status. So it could be very beneficial to have this show up when you are making these decisions and going off into the future to make money. It is something here that's trying to give you this positive outlook and let you know that you can do it. One more. Last messages for group number 2. We have Ghost Pipe. And again, this one showed up in group number 1 as well. So you might have some messages in there. But in Ghost Pipe, it says, immerse in your shadow's wisdom. So I really think tapping into yourself and really knowing kind of like your demons, knowing your pros and cons of your life, your strengths and weaknesses could be very, very helpful for you to make this decision and be able to push onward. Also, really being able to have the honesty to look into yourself in order to glean whatever information that you need. It can be very hard for some people to want to take a hard look at themselves, but I feel like that this is really here calling to you to let you know that it's safe to do so, and that it may be something that you need to do before you can move on. And then lastly, we are going to pull a message from this deck. What final message do we have for group number 2? We have, this one says a flow. It's a feeling. Are you in it? Find your way there now. So really getting in touch with yourself, really being able to flow through this feeling of life versus this stuck nature. Instead of feeling like you're resisting a change or really putting up this resistance to making a decision or something, is try to go with whatever you intuitively feel is going to be the best outcome for you. That's the feeling that I'm getting with this flow here. And lastly, I'm going to roll these astro dice in order to pull any more zodiac signs that could be helping you within this next segment of life. Firstly, we have Cancer coming up. So it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or just traits that you should look into. We have, oopsies, rolled way over. But this next one here is actually Capricorn. So we have Capricorn coming out as well. So you've got 2 of them. So it could be that you are a Capricorn or really tapping into those Capricorn traits. So being driven when it comes to work or being very determined and ambitious. And lastly, we have Pisces. All right, so if you liked this reading or resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick a card readings in the future. And if you did reach this far in your reading, feel free to leave a rainbow emoji down in the comments below, so then it's an indicator for myself and others to know that you did get this far in your reading. And I mean, the next 3 months look like they're going to be very, very... You have to be very strong during them, but I believe that you're going to be able to make it, and you'll make the correct decision for yourself and have a positive outlook into the future. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading for the next 3 months and what we're going to be getting into within that span of time. So combined with your deck, we also have the Sunstone, which it's here to help bring about a sense of joy. This is very much a happy, positive stone that can also help lift dark moods, and it encourages enthusiasm and optimism as well. So it could be here to bring you positive vibes for the next 3 months. We're gonna go ahead and start with a big shuffle. For group number 3, what messages do we have to bring them? Group 3. Starting out with the Sun in the reversed position, very positive card. And the Sunstone, that's really cute. We have the Wheel. Ooh, we've got some really powerful energy starting out. We also have the Knight of Wands. The King of Cups in the reverse position. Ooh, these last two just fell out, so I'm also going to take both of these in conjunction with each other. So we have the Devil in the reverse position and the Chariot in the reverse position. So this is some very intense energy. I'm getting these vibes of just very, very like strong changes that are happening for you. I guess we can't put these next to each other. Let's go ahead and move these a little bit. So starting out with the Sun in reversed, this is still a very, very positive card. It is really about having that inner positivity and having just an overall feeling like everything is going your way and like things are going to turn out the way that you want them to, is what I'm seeing. We also have this feeling of kind of like your inner child is coming out and really dictating what it is that's going on in your life. It could be a potential of being like feeling overly optimistic about certain situations, which combined with the Sunstone here is I am seeing this trend here where it looks like you are going to be having like just a lot of fun throughout the next 3 months, and I do believe that that's a positive thing for you. And right next to the Sun we have the Wheel of Fortune, and in that card this is very much dealing with this being some sort of cycle, some sort of karmic change, or really dealing with a certain turning point in your life where things are really going to start looking up. The Wheel of Fortune brings about good luck as well. So this is overall very favorable reading, and it is one that I believe that you are going to be able to have a lot of good experiences and a lot of fun and positivity going into your next 3 months. I'm also getting this feeling that the Wheel is here to let you know that you do have karma that is coming back to you. So whatever you have given out into the world, it is going to finally be going all the way around and finding its way back to you. So whatever you have put out into the world, it is going to come back, whether that is positive or negative, but I'm seeing very much so that it is going to be a positive thing for you. And then, next to that, we have the Knave of Wands, which I actually was right in the first thing that I said, which it was the Page of Wands, not Knight. So in the Page of Wands, this is about your new ideas or discovering new things about yourself, discovering new ideas that you have. This can be very much about having this free spirit and really being able to explore that free just burst of energy. It really gives me vibes kind of reminiscent of the Fool card, where you are just going out and allowing yourself to have this potential that you can just delve into anything, and you're not trying to put yourself in a box. You're not trying to stop yourself from learning or feeling anything in particular, and it's really beneficial for you to grow. And next to the Knave of Wands or the Page of Wands, we have the King of Cups in the reversed position. So in this card here, what I'm seeing this as is that you are needing to deal with some sort of inner feelings, some sort of inner emotions, and you could be maybe having this stint of time where you are feeling a bit more on the moodier side. There could be this feeling of emotional manipulation, whether this is you emotionally manipulating other people in a way that you don't recognize, you don't realize it's happening. You're not doing it because you're doing it maliciously. It's just that your emotions may be feeling very strongly, or you could be subjected to that sort of thing. And what I'm seeing with all these positive cards, I think that this could possibly be that you're going to be in a situation where it's going to feel like you're being emotionally manipulated into something or away from something. I'm also seeing, combined with the Devil, with these two right next to each other, I am getting this feeling like it could possibly be dealing with someone that is either in your life or is going to be coming into your life around at this time. And you just have to make sure that you're careful when dealing with the Devil, that it could be something that is almost like a too good to be true situation, or maybe the feeling of this person is love bombing you kind of thing, trying to play on your emotions in order to get you on their side. However, I am also seeing in the Devil reversed that you're able to recognize these signs and you're not going to allow yourself to fall into these traps. So the Devil is very much dealing with sort of your own addictions, your own escapism. And when it's in reverse, it's noticing these patterns of destruction and being able to stop yourself from falling into them. You can recognize it from a mile off and you're not allowing it to hold on to you. It can also be about you releasing your own self-limiting beliefs. So in the Page of Wands, this is all about starting this new journey and having this limitless potential and everything. You are saying no to any negative beliefs that you may have had about what you can or can't accomplish. And so it could be showing that you are releasing that as well. It could also be showing that you are going through a time where you are working through some of your dark thoughts and you are trying to understand them on a level where you're able to manage them instead of them just running around in the background. You're facing them head on and you're taking care of things that maybe have had a restraint on you in the past, so you're able to focus on them and release them. But lastly, what I'm seeing here in the Chariot is that there's going to be a bit of time where you actually are going to be slowing down, it looks, towards the end of summer. Because when the Chariot is in reversed, it could be that there's some sort of delay or a lack of direction. You're just kind of like a little unfocused. So this might be a good time for you to rein yourself in and really, towards the end of the 3 months, really focus on your self-discipline and really try your hardest to bring yourself back into focus of whatever this idea is that's coming to you, so you don't end up losing that focus and running into any troubles. So I'm going to pull a few cards for you. Oops, this card is backwards. I'm going to pull a few cards for you to see if we can get any further messages, any clarifying cards. For group 3, what other messages do we have? Oop. We have the Ace of Swords coming out, right? So this is very much about like mental clarity, having a breakthrough in some form. So maybe you are having this breakthrough that's really releasing a lot of this positive energy that has been built up from the Wheel of Fortune. And you're able to actually explore this new avenue. We also have the Page of Pentacles in reversed. I'm going to pull just a couple more. Seven of Wands reversed. And lastly, we have the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. So I'm trying to think even more with the Ace of Swords. I believe too that this could be really a moment where it feels like you have this sudden burst of like success too. I'm thinking that maybe there's been something that you have been working on, and it's going to finally see this point of success where either other people in your life are going to recognize it as a success, or you're finally going to recognize it as a success. So this could be a very beneficial and positive moment for you. Next, we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. And in this card, I am definitely seeing that you are really having a hard time with being able to make like a progress on something. So these cards are almost like opposite of each other in the sense of this deals with having that procrastination, not progressing fully. But I think that it is here to come up, not even as a warning, but kind of just to let you know that you can learn from any past failures that you may have had, which is just going to further push this success that you have. So whatever that this is tied to, maybe if you've made steps before in the past, try to see what it was that didn't work for you and try to implement that during these next 3 months. So maybe like the devil has been something that you've fallen for over and over and over again. And now that you've seen this pattern, you can kind of catch it out. And again, you can spot it from a mile off. So you're not falling for whatever this devil is this time around. And that's going to lead to your success. So you've learned from your past failures and you're going to have success in this time frame. Next, in the Seven of Wands reversed, this could be you dealing with feeling so overwhelmed that you actually get to the point where you feel like you can't do it anymore and you need to give up. You feel extremely exhausted. So I think that this is coming out to let you just know not to overwork yourself during this span of time. You may feel like you have so much energy because you have all this positive energy that's coming out for you, especially in the earlier part of the 3 months. It seems like everything's going your way, so you just feel so good and you want to tackle everything. But just make sure you keep in mind to pace yourself. I'm getting this feeling that there is this, it even could be something where like you are prone to feeling super overwhelmed and super exhausted, but you push yourself to a certain point and you literally don't stop because you want to just have all of this movement. You want to take the momentum and just keep running with it, but it just is like letting you know that you need to really slow down and allow yourself that chance to be calm and learn when you need to rest. It can also be dealing with family or friends who are sort of questioning whatever choices that you are making in your life, and it's making you feel really stressed out because it's your life. And yes, if you asked for advice, that's great, but it kind of feels like unsolicited advice, like they have something to say, they're having judgments about how you're holding yourself, and it is definitely stressing you out. But just stay true to yourself and know that whatever path that you're taking is the right one for you, and that you literally can't please everybody. So just to make sure that you take care of yourself and worry about your own business, and you will attract the people who are going to be there for you and there to truly support you. And lastly, in the King of Wands, this card comes out when we are feeling like we have this sense of impulsiveness where we are just setting extremely high levels of like high expectations for ourselves, and we almost can't reach that point because we are just putting so much stock into what it is that we need to do, how we need to get it done and everything. And because of that, we're making rash decisions. So that impulsiveness, we're going too quickly into something without reading all the fine print, without having a plan, and it's making it even harder for you to be able to accomplish your goals. It can also be that you may be focusing very, very hard on yourself. So make sure that you also make time for those around you who do want to support you. If there's somebody in your life who normally has very good advice for you, and they're not trying to come at you in the sense of like judging you, they're not trying to be super harsh with you, they just want to share their opinions and share it from a place of kindness, make sure you hear them out, because you don't want to be completely closed off from everyone and not able to take any form of criticism and or like feedback that could make things even better for you. So just make sure that you are gentle with yourself, and also be gentle with other people during this time. Don't set these high expectations for either yourself or others that neither of you can meet, because it'll just push away those that you've already had such a good connection with. And I'm going to pull some more advice cards. Anything else that we should look out for as group number 3? Any further messages? We have the World coming out. Ooh. We have Queen of Wands. Okay. And the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. So you have so many major arcanas in this deck. I don't remember any major arcana showing up in the other ones, or if they did, it was like only one or two. So you just have so much around you. So I feel like these next 3 months are going to be very transformative for you. When it comes to the world, I'm seeing this as this is, again, it's going to be very important for you to be going through this situation and going through these next 3 months. Whatever it is that you're learning during this time, it's really going to cause this like ripple effect where you're going to be really changing the outcome of your life because of everything that you're focusing on and this positivity that's coming to you. This can also be very, very literal in the sense that it could mean travel. So it could be that maybe you're traveling and that's what's bringing this positivity to you, and maybe bringing scorn from other people is maybe you're focusing on a lot of travel right now. This could also be about you really like accomplishing something very intense that is going to change your life for the better. And I'm seeing in the Queen of Wands here, this card is very much she gives me kind of these like vibes of someone who is a like social butterfly. She is very, very independent and is very good at setting boundaries. So with this card appearing, I would say that is some advice for you to take on, is make sure that you're a very independent person. You have the courage and confidence to do the things that you say that you're going to do and say, but also that you set up proper boundaries for yourself and other people so they know exactly where they stand with you. The other bits with the Queen of Wands that you should take on too is that the Queen of Wands is a very determined person and sees things through to the end. So they don't just talk and say they're going to do these things, then never do them. They're actually going to follow through. So make sure that you are that person, that you don't catch yourself sharing all your plans and then you just like sit back and not accomplish any of them. But I don't see that for you. I see you as actually being able to go through and accomplish these plans. But I'm also seeing too, in the Hierophant reversed, I think that you're doing something that is a little bit different. I think you're doing something that could possibly be what is bringing on the scorn of other people, because the Hierophant reversed is very much you having freedom in doing what it is that you want to do, what's really true to yourself. And it's very much about challenging the status quo in the sense of like, this is my card that I always go to and I say, there are people in the world who believe in like having a 9-to-5 job and that's all they're going to ever do and all they ever want. And then there are people who go out there to do something that is very like something that they hold on to very passionately and really fulfills their life. And for those people, the Hierophant is here to protect you when you want to do these things. There's something out there for you that is completely different and out of the box, and you are going to be exploring that. Or he's here to let you know that you shouldn't be afraid to explore that sort of wacky idea that you have that you want to try. It's here to let you know that you are protected in doing that. He's also deals with having like your personal beliefs and making sure that you stay true to them. So again, just like how the Queen of Wands is right next to the Hierophant, having those boundaries, making sure you stick to what you feel and believe when it comes to your own personal beliefs, your own moral compass. You want to make sure that you stick to that and stay true to that during these next few months. So now I'm going to pull a few self-care cards to see what it is that you can do to kind of ease this span of time. What can group 3 focus on to provide them with a little bit of self-care? So firstly, we have make an altar. So this could be very helpful, especially if you love making altars. If you have one already out, maybe dusting it. It's very Altars are very prone to getting dusty, and sometimes we can just set them up and forget about them, but we want to make sure it's a living and breathing altar. So definitely clean off your altar or make a new one that can help you manifest any new positive energy and change. And it doesn't even have to be something extravagant. It could be even just like a little shelf that you have either in your home or workplace too, that you just have a couple of little items on there just to make you feel connected to your goals. We also have hydrate. So with hydrate, this is very much very, very literal in the sense of hydrate yourself with water, or also just dealing with water in general. So if you have the chance to go somewhere like the beach or a lake or ocean, anything like that, go ahead and try to find time where you can head out there, especially with the summertime coming. It's going to be great to be able to spend time in the water as well. But obviously the effects of drinking water, if you don't normally drink water and then you suddenly start drinking a gallon of water a day, your life definitely changes, and you have a lot of benefits in drinking water. So make sure that you do some research on that and see what the right amount of water is for you. And lastly, whoops, this card was a little sticky coming out, is journal. So try to journal, use some time to write down all your thoughts and emotions. It can really be helpful to get them down on paper, because sometimes if your thoughts are just trapped into your mind or you're not sharing them with anybody, it can be really hard to process them. So if you give yourself the chance to actually journal throughout the day or week, you can look back when you come to realizations and you can actually start seeing patterns as well. So we'll set that there. Next, I'm going to pull a couple more. Any further messages for group number 3? We have smoky quartz with protection coming out for you. So whatever decisions that you make, you are protected. I also am seeing too that whatever karma that you had going out into the world, you are protected with the karma coming back to you. I definitely am getting this feeling that you are a positive soul that did put out more of that positive, helpful, loving energy, and so it's not coming back to do you any harm. Next we have this card here. It says new moon, and it says I open my heart and set my intentions. So really listening to yourself, really listening to your heart, your mind, and combining those together and marrying those to the point where you can set your intentions, maybe on your altar, and really push forward this new narrative that you want for yourself. And lastly, we have Taurus. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising sign, or it could just be that you may want to employ the traits of Taurus into your life during this next span of time in order to better help yourself, which in Taurus it says patient, caring, and calm. So definitely going about things where you think things through and you are patient with both yourself and other people around you, and trying to remain calm and making proper choices for yourself where you have everything aligned and really come at it from this sense of just grounded, like this grounded nature. Next, I'm going to pull one of these cards for you. Oops, they're trying to go all over the place. We have, so this one says, it says ever expansive, infinitely deep, and then it has all these arrows saying you. So it's really letting you know that you are multifaceted and that you do have a lot about you that you can draw upon in order to make these positive changes in your life, in order to navigate these next few months. So don't discredit yourself. Definitely know that you have a lot going on. Even if you don't see it, could be subconsciously, you have a lot going on, and that you need to allow yourself to explore those depths and really learn at your own pace what it is that makes you wholly yourself. Lastly, I'm going to roll this astro dice for any last messages, any zodiac signs that could be around you or in your chart. So, firstly, we have Libra coming out. Next, we have Scorpio. And lastly, we have Cancer. So this could be sun, moon, or rising, or it could be traits as well that would be good for you to maybe research and try to draw from their strengths in order to navigate this next span of time. So I do believe that there's going to be a lot of positivity for you, and I do think that you'll face a little bit of challenges, but I believe that with knowledge that you've had from the past, you're going to be able to make the proper choices, and you're going to be able to avoid the things that you don't want in your life. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot card readings in the future. And also, if you did reach this point, leave a splashing water emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did reach this far. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great 3 months coming up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hello, group number 4, and here is your reading for the midsummer messages and the next 3 months of summertime that's coming up. So with this lapis lazuli, this is here to help encourage some truthful expression, being able to communicate very, very clearly, and being able to share information with other people. This can also help in easing situations where anger is able to come out more intensely, so it helps navigate those sorts of conversations a lot more easily. So we're going to set that right there for you. It could possibly be that you have a big need for communicating over the next 3 months, and that's there to help protect you during that time. So we get started with a shuffle. And now for group number 4, what messages do we have for group number 4? Let's see. Firstly, we have coming out right is the 9 of Swords in the reversed position. Next, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. There's the 2 of Swords. The Queen of Wands in the reverse position. And lastly, we have the Hanged Man. So what I'm seeing in these cards is that I believe that you are going to, be going through this time where you are really focusing on your inner world and trying to release and heal from things that have taken a lot out of you, especially over the past few months is what I'm seeing. So in the 9 of Swords reverse, this is very much about releasing worries and sort of going on to the upswing of having released those fears and dealing with the issues at hand. However, there can be it can be tied a lot to fears, and it can also be tied to suffering from inner turmoil. So this card here can very much, it's got like 2 paths that you can go down. and you're trying to navigate healing but also grieving at the same time. And it's this feeling of wanting to move on from the past, but there are things that keep coming back, that keep bringing it back up to you and keep causing you this sort of pain. So this might be a great time for you to confide in other people and just to seek help when it comes to needing some form of support. It's possible that you are also being very, very hard on yourself, and you need to give yourself this grace and this sort of like leeway where you aren't pushing on yourself as harshly as you normally do. Next to the Nine of Swords reversed, we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse position. And in this card, this is very much indicative of your dealing with your inner feelings and also allowing yourself to just take care of yourself. It's like a big self-love, self-care sort of card. So it is here to let you know that you're going to start working on that situation, whatever that has happened in this past that you are grieving, and all of this negative energy and whatnot that has been surrounding your mindset. You're going to give yourself a chance to really tap into this motherly side that's going to be protecting you and going to be helping you throughout this span. It could also be potentially someone in your life who is offering you this grace, and they're there to take care of you during this span of time. They're there to help show you the positive attributes that you have and the positivity that you bring to other people's lives. They're going to finally sort of drop down the illusion that you have over yourself that you can't do the things right or that nobody cares kind of thing. They're going to let you know that they care and they're going to be there for you. I'm also seeing in the Two of Swords that this is something of where you may be dealing with conflicts that you are having a hard time being able to focus on. You're possibly avoiding dealing with the situation, and it's coming out as just making it very hard for you to finally pick something for you to stick with. So this card is also about weighing up certain options. So there may be different things that you could be doing and different ways for you to tackle whatever the situation is that you're in, but you are having a hard time being able to navigate that as of right now and within the 3-month span of time. Because I've been reading these in previous groups as this is your earlier time, and then this is kind of like in the middle of it, and then this is towards the end of the 3 months. So I'm seeing that you're starting this off more negative and you're going to be progressing forward into a more positive mindset. And I believe that there is a decision that you need to make here that is going to change the course of you either staying stuck or you healing from all of these past grievances. So we also have in the Queen of Wands reversed that this here is someone who is very much someone who has an extreme level of self-respect for themselves. And also extremely confident, but they don't have to be loud when it comes to their confidence. So they're not out there like screaming from the rooftops or really standing out in a crowd. It could be somebody who is maybe very introverted and they just have everything that they need, sort of just withdrawn into themselves. And you can see how like the snake is like protecting her eggs and whatnot. Is like it could be that you are keeping things very close to your chest and you're not trying to rush out there and tell everybody all of your secrets. You're not trying to put on a big show or anything. Right now, you're currently focused on yourself, and you're trying to kind of like keep hold of your energy. This can also be at a time frame where you're trying to figure out yourself again, because we all go through different cycles. We all go through different phases in our lives where we may believe that this is exactly who we are. And then after we've experienced different things in life, we have to reestablish ourselves. So this may be a good time where you're taking in all of the past that you've gone through and things that are here to support you and help you, and you're making this decision to change and really give yourself a lot more leeway and really give yourself the chance to change and not try to hold yourself back from just like what you thought you were. You're trying to change your perspective, because I see also here in the Hanged Man, he comes up a lot when it's you needing to look at things with a different like a different perspective. The Hanged Man can also be around when you have to surrender to something. So it's more like the universe has finally caught up to you, and they're like, this is what needs to happen now. But it's more of a gentle, happy ending versus something like the Tower coming up. The Hanged Man is here to let you know that you can let go and you can push forward with this new perspective that you have on yourself. So overall, this is very positive. It's giving me this feeling of like melancholy, like there is some past like negative self-talk or past trauma or grief that you're still struggling with, and you're having a hard time with realizing that you are worth more and that you're allowed to be happy, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So you're finally getting to this point where you're slowly able to see it and change yourself a bit more. You're finally able to kind of let go of this past stuff, which is like a beautiful thing for you to be able to experience. But it is still sort of a lonely, not depressing, but yeah, like melancholic feeling that I'm getting from this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a few clarifying cards. This is for group 3. Any further messages that we'd like to share? For group 3, we have the Devil coming outright, or upright rather. Next we have the 10 of Wands. Lastly, let's pull 2 more. There's King of Pentacles and also the 2 of Swords. Okay, so we're seeing 2 of Swords again. So starting off with the Devil, though, I'm seeing this as some form of escapism that you have fallen into. You could feel like maybe you can't do things for yourself. The Devil does give a lot of vibes of kind of like victim mentality, like you're restrained from being able to have free will, but you actually at any point you can release the Devil and walk away from the Devil and change your life. I'm also getting this feeling from the Devil card that it may be something of some sort of like, kind of like how I said before with escapism, it could be some level of like addiction that you have to something. You keep going back to something because it's familiar or it makes you feel safe in a certain way, but it is potentially negative for you. So just make sure you stay vigilant when it comes to patterns that you used to fall in before, that you don't fall into those patterns once again. It's coming out to let you know that that is a potential that could be happening, and it's trying to warn you instead of you falling back into it. It's trying to let you know that this is something that may happen during the span of time. And in the Ten of Wands here, this is also showing a completion of some sort. There's hard work that's going on, so it could be that you're doing a lot of hard inner work, which is great, but you could also really be straining yourself mentally, because this is sort of like the hard work at the end of the day where like your body is just like aching and you just feel like crap the next morning when you wake up, because it's very much about having a lot of extra responsibilities and feeling like you're carrying all on your back, like you're the one that's putting in all this hard work, and it's just such an extreme burden to you that you feel exhausted. So this is very much something of a warning as well, that I think that you are doing a lot of self-work and you are trying to push yourself more towards that self-love, but it is hard for you to reach that point because it is such a struggle of what you've believed in the past is so different from how you want to start believing in yourself. And it's definitely making it hard for you to navigate, because you don't know how to trek an easy route when it comes to this sort of thing. But we do have in the King of Pentacles coming out that you are going to be able to tap into this sort of like leadership mindset. You're going to be able to tap into this like wealth, whether this is wealth of actual like physical financial gain or wealth of your emotions and mindset. I'm kind of seeing it more like that. I mean, it'd be great if we all could make more money. So maybe it is a wealth that you're being given, or maybe you're able to, when you work through things, you're able to like maybe have a new job that pays you more or something like that. But I'm seeing this more as almost like a spiritual wealth, where you're going to feel a lot more confident in yourself and your abilities, and you're not going to have to rely so much on other people. This can also be about you just in general having security. So maybe it's a security of yourself, or like how in the Queen of Wands reversed, she's protecting those eggs and whatnot. It could be that you are reestablishing your sense of self and you're feeling far more secure in yourself. I'm getting this feeling like you haven't been your truest self for quite a long time. You felt like you've had to hide it and you felt very diminished. So this is letting you know that you can truly be like more out there and you can really be more you. And then lastly, again, we have this Two of Swords showing up again. So just as I said before with the Two of Swords, is that there is some sort of decision that needs to be made, and you need to weigh up all these different options in order to come to the decision that's going to work best for you. And then we're going to do one more. This is going to be for like some advice. That was kind of some advice, maybe a little bit more insight, but let's see if there's any further advice that we can get. For group 3, what else do they need to look out for? This is a lot, so I'm going to put these back in. What other advice? One of those cards that was on the top was the Three of Cups, though, so it could be beneficial for you, a possibility of collaborating or celebrating with friends. So of course, if you have if you feel disconnected, maybe try to touch base with friendships. Yeah, you're definitely doing a lot of inner work, though, is what I'm seeing. Let's get one more. Ooh, the Hanged Man right underneath the Hanged Man again. Awesome. So we have the Nine of Pentacles coming out for you. So what I'm seeing here is that you are going to have like the best chances when you are able to be either financially independent or be able to focus on providing for yourself. So if you are currently in a situation where somebody else is providing for you, like perhaps you don't have a job, or you are kind of in between jobs or something, it might be good for you to find a way to make even just some side money, because you may be feeling tied. Like it could be a devil situation where you feel like you're tied to a certain person due to finances. But this advice here is trying to come out to let you know that if you do have that self-sufficiency, that you won't feel as stressed out. It can also be dealing with just having abundance and also providing yourself with luxury, in the sense of like, you might be the type of person who like, you don't spend a lot of money on yourself because you like deem it like not necessary, but it's really hard if like you just only put your money towards bills or towards like your future or something. You should give yourself a little reward. Like give yourself something that you have been wanting for some time. Like as long as it's in your means and you're going to be safe to spend the money, you should go ahead and make that purchase, because it's going to add so much more to your life and make you feel just so happy to be able to have something that is your own, that you get to really reward yourself with over all the hard work that you've put in so far. And then next to that card, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. And this card comes out a lot when dealing with your own like personal celebration. So this is, again, it's that feeling of like, you're not trying to shout from the rooftops. You're trying to really celebrate yourself. It's like an inner harmony that you are focusing on, and you are really realizing so much like benefit and so much goodness within yourself. So with this card here too, you can be also dealing with a transitional phase where you are changing yourself from one chapter of your life to another. So this has been a really big theme for you, is this sort of life cycle, this sort of transition where you are letting go of the past and how you have felt about yourself, and you're trying to move into the future with this new perspective. You're trying to reevaluate yourself. So this here, just be true to yourself and really go forward with whatever transitions that need to happen for you. And I'm also seeing too that this could bring about a conflict with other people. So there may be somebody around you who doesn't quite understand what it is that you're going through, or they don't believe in whatever it is that you're going through, but you just need to stay true to yourself because you don't want to live a lie anymore. And again, we have the Hanged Man coming out. So try to tap into this willingness to change and this new perspective, letting go of things in the past, because it's just having you stay tied down, and it wants you to release. Like it's very strongly the universe is trying to share with you that you need to release something in order to move on. So let's go with some self-care cards and see if there's any self-care that you can be doing over the next 3 months that could help you during this span of time. For group number 3. Oh my goodness, I just threw so many. I'm so sorry. We don't need that many self-care cards, but just a couple. Okay, firstly, this is having a hard time coming out, so maybe it means you need to do it more, is meditate. Give yourself time to meditate and relax and really focus on what it is that you want. When it comes to really learning who you are as a person and reevaluating yourself, meditating on it and having to focus quietly with your own thoughts can really drag out a lot. It can really bring about a lot of change and a lot of things that need to come to light. And it would be beneficial for you to focus on your inner world and actually see what it is that you need to change and what you need to work on. We also have sync with the moon coming out. So it could be certain cycles going on in your life actually correlate with the moon cycles. Or if you are somebody that likes to do rituals, you could go ahead and focus on whenever the new and full moons are happening. So you could do things like manifestation spells or even releasing spells. Maybe something like cord cutting if that's something that you're interested in. You can definitely Google these things and find plenty of ways to perform different rituals to kind of help you out a bit more too. And lastly, we have burning bowl ritual, or you can do a burning bowl ritual where this is very helpful to let go of different situations. So again, the Hanged Man wants you to let go. So write down whatever it is that has been going on in your life, this grief, this negativity, anything that you dislike about yourself that you want to release and you want to change about yourself. You can write down any of those things and you can release it by flame, and that fire truly puts in that passionate, intense energy to release it and get it cut out of your life. So a burning bowl ritual might be something that you want to look into. And then I'm going to pull these cards just for a few more messages, just a couple more, I promise. We have Pisces, so it could be that you are Pisces, there's sun, moon, or rising, or it could be that you need to focus on the traits of Pisces that will help you throughout these next 3 months. So there's imaginative, empathetic, and adaptable. So definitely adapting yourself into someone new, and being able to be empathetic with yourself as well, because you want to be soft with yourself when you're going through such intense changes. You don't want to be harsh, like I have to change, I need to be different or anything like that. You need to be soft because that's where you'll be able to grow a lot better. Next, we have mycorrhizal fungi, which says connect with your soul community. So like I said earlier with how the Three of Cups had fallen out and then I ended up not pulling that card, it could be that this would be a great time for you to connect with friends or connect with other people who are going through these sorts of things as well. So if you can research to find communities online of people who are trying to better themselves, maybe listen to some self-care books or self-help books, things like that, and try to connect with others who are just trying to really better themselves and change how they feel about themselves as well. Just because I think it would be beneficial for you. Or just focusing again just on your friends. Like if there's somebody that you're close to who normally gives you really good advice, maybe head to them as well and try to see what advice that they might have for you, or if they've had their own experiences dealing with this sort of situation. Lastly, we have Gemini, which says versatile, social, and curious. So it could be that you are Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, or these traits you should possess during this span of time. It is also currently Gemini season, so this is definitely the start of these next 3 months. But with Gemini as well, it could be helpful for you, again, to be very versatile when it comes to exploring new parts of your being and being curious about it. So really allowing yourself to learn and not try to shy away from some darker aspects as well of yourself. You're never going to get rid of all the negativity. You're never going to get rid of all the things that you deem bad. So just be caring when it comes to learning these things about yourself as well. And then I'm going to also pull a message from this pile here. A couple final messages. We have, this says absolutely nothing. Interesting. I'm taking this as like, almost like starting from scratch. So like when you're posed with something like a void and how there's like just the pitch black around these words. It's like looking into like the abyss. You're looking into something that is a completely blank slate. So see yourself as a blank slate and don't allow your past to be tied to you. Really focus from the ground up what it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to fill your space with, because there's only so much that time and space that you have in order to fill things up and in order to hold space for. So yeah, I think that you being okay with having this new perspective, being able to start from scratch and really fill it with all the things that are positive and all the things that are there to serve you is going to be a lot better for your future, for your mindset, for you, just your mental health, everything. It's going to just do so many more wonders for you to start from nothing and build upon that. So lastly, we're going to roll this Astro Dice for any further messages. It almost flew off the edge, so let's try that again. It tried again. We have Sagittarius coming out. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or just you should focus maybe on the traits of these. Cancer. And possess those qualities during these next 3 months. And lastly, we have Pisces. So again, we have Pisces coming out. So we've got strong Pisces energy within this reading. So just remember to be careful with, careful and safe and gentle with yourself during this span of time, and know that it's okay to release all of that past grief, that past negativity in order to form your new life. Meditate on the things that you want and just go slow with what it is that you need during this span of time. And if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And with you reaching this point, feel free to leave a fire emoji down in the comment box below so you can let myself and others know that you did reach this far. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great next 3 months. See you in the next video.